Good morning. Once again, Kenny Jacobs from Bloomington, Illinois. I'm a PGA teaching professional. My videos talk both about the great game of golf as well as being a Christian and living in the last days. I want to talk a little bit today about the importance of controlling the golf club and the club face during your golf swing. Good players have a really good awareness of where the club is during their swing, and they can feel how their hands relate to the club face. The better you get, the less you want to actively use your hands during your golf swing, but you always need to be aware of how your hands are controlling the club face itself. Obviously, when you take your grip, once you put your hands on there, anytime you turn your hands, you're going to turn the club face. If I rotate my hands that way, I'm going to open the club face. If I rotate them that way, I'm going to close club face. So my hands are controlling the club face. So you want to learn, first of all, to feel that and use your hands and learn how to square the club face and what that feels like with your hands. And then notice how you over-rotate and you hook it left, and if you don't rotate enough, you hit it to the right. Because down the road, you're going to want to be able to feel that to work the golf ball one way or the other intentionally. But then once you've kind of established that, then you want to start working on how your body should be controlling your arms and hands, and how if you're the triangle of your hands, arms, and shoulders works with the turn of your body, then you can let your body rotation control your hands, which controls the club face, and that eliminates a lot of the extra movement that you don't want with your hands and club face during the golf swing. But if you're a high handicapper or you're a very inconsistent ball striker or hit a lot of wild shots, you really want to spend some time working on just club face control. Hit a lot of half shots. Hit a lot of shots where you just work on moving the triangle back and forth and trying to eliminate some of the hands, and just get a good feel for that. Really hit some slow half feet together swings are great because it'll shut your body down and really help you focus on just what your hands and arms are doing. When you go out to the practice tee, if you're really trying to improve your ball flight, work on the club face and the club first. If you're spraying the golf ball all around the golf course, don't work on your hip rotation or your right knee flex or what your shoulder turn is doing. Work on what the golf club is doing. I always tell people, good players control the club, not the ball. You swing a club. If you don't have the club where you want the club to be relative to your targeted impact, the ball's not going to go there. So you need to control the club face and feel what the club face is doing. Start with the hands. We call it educated hands. Teach your hand, let your hands learn to feel what they're doing and how they're controlling that club face. And then learn to put the control of the hands into the body rotation and get everything working together. So eventually you have a swing that's very, very simple, not a lot of moving parts. And that's the way to get more consistent. Now, that's how you control the club to control the golf ball. The good news is we live in a world that's definitely out of control. But the good news is God is in control. Nothing's going to happen in this world that God doesn't let happen and hasn't ordained. Romans chapter 13 verse 1 says, "Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established." So whether Obama's president or whoever wins the next election, they're only there because God has ordained it and allowed that to happen for his purposes. Whatever's going on in the Middle East, whoever's ruling those nations and whatever's going on there, God's in control of that situation too. And we see these situations coming together to fulfill God's end-time Bible prophecy. And it's an exciting day to live in when we see that happening. Romans chapter 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Lord, to them that are called according to his purpose." That's one I'm trying to lean on myself really hard right now. It's been a really hard winter and a really hard few years. But I know that God will allow all this to work out for good for me as long as I keep trying to live for him and I love him and put him first. Then this will all work out. As we see that things getting worse and worse in the world. Just know that in the long run, it's all going to work out good for you if you love God. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. One of my favorite verses in the Bible. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. That's hard for us to do. We as humans want to be in control. We want to control our own destiny. We want to find our own way in life, and we want our will. But we really need to seek God's will. And then Isaiah 55:8 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways," says the Lord. Again, sometimes it's hard to not try to do things our way and just sit back and be still and know that God is God and that He is in control. And He is going to guide us through these end times until it's time to take the church. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how bad the persecution gets, no matter how bad the wars get and the economy gets, we see all that coming to pass now, just be encouraged and just know that God is in control. He'll never let us down. All the signs are here. Let's be ready. Keep looking up.